ministers, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, last March we were participating at the groundbreaking ceremony of the solar power plant. The video was just shown, demonstrates that historical moment in our history, because that was a start, I'm sure, of a big journey of our two brotherly countries. Today we are very proud to see that in a relatively short period of time, something more than a year and a half, this empty part of Absheron Peninsula became the source of green energy. This is a remarkable achievement. I'd like to congratulate Masdar, its leadership, for this outstanding contribution to the development of Azerbaijan and also to commitment to our country with respect to the green transition. Today, among our guests, we are proud to see 4 ministers of the government of UAE. Ministers, welcome, and also a big delegation from brotherly country. This is a good example of our partnership and friendship, and also it demonstrates that both countries pay big importance to today's ceremony. First, because, as it was already shown, it's the largest in the region. And second, because it's, as I already said, only the beginning. We have big plans, and I'm sure that friendly and brotherly relations between UAE and Azerbaijan will continue to develop successfully. I'm sure that there'll be more projects. Actually, later today, we will be witnessing the signing ceremony of free investment agreements, which will lead to the production of 1 gigawatt of renewables in a very short period of time. So we consider today's event as a bright example of brotherly relations between UAE and Azerbaijan. I'd like to express gratitude to our dear guests for being with us today. I'd like to express special gratitude to Masdar, the company which trusted Azerbaijan, which decided to start large-scale investments in renewables, and which will make it possible for Azerbaijan to achieve its goals with respect to green agenda. Today's project is the first among many to come. As I said, free investment agreements will be signed today, but our plans are much broader. We plan to work together to produce in phases up to 10 gigawatts of renewables, and that will be a total revolution in the energy development of the region, because Azerbaijan is a country where first oil in the world was produced in the middle of 19th century. First oil from offshore fields was produced in the middle of last century, and now, having in mind that still we are rich in fossil fuel resources, we are moving towards green agenda. This is a deliberate choice. This is our contribution not only to the future development of Azerbaijan, but to the issues related to climate change. So I'm very hopeful and absolutely sure that all our plans will be implemented. Today's ceremony actually demonstrates that. And also, I hope that today's ceremony will be a good example and will send a good signal to many more companies from UAE to come to work with us. I know that recently our national oil companies, energy companies, ADNOC and SOCAR, already became officially partners in Azerbaijan. I know that there are plans to work together in UAE, in other countries. So really, we see now that the development of cooperation between our countries and governmental structures and companies really is elevating at a new stage. Azerbaijan is a very friendly country for foreign investments. we enjoyed multi-billion investment portfolio during last 3 decades. Total investments in Azerbaijan were more than 300 billion US dollars and almost 200 billion US dollars investments in non-oil sector. This is our economic target now, to continue to diversify our economy, to reduce dependence on fossil fuel, but at the same time we understand that our oil and gas for many more years will be needed for international market. For that purpose, a multiple oil and gas pipeline system have been commissioned, and now we export our oil and gas in different directions. Azerbaijan is the exporter of oil, natural gas, oil products, petrochemicals, electricity to international markets, and of course in the coming years we will export hydrogen, including green hydrogen. And for that purpose we are working very closely with our partners, companies from different countries of the world in order to create this potential. With respect to investment climate of Azerbaijan, I already mentioned Azerbaijan's economy is very stable. During last 20 years, our GDP grew more than 4 times, and we managed to reduce our direct foreign debt to the level below 10% of GDP, and reduce level of poverty, which was close to 50% 20 years ago, down to 5.5%. So it demonstrates that the fair distribution of the revenues coming from oil and gas exports create absolutely a new reality. What we are planning to do in the coming years, in a short period of time, is to implement a state program which provides a reinforcement of our national energy grid. This is absolutely necessary because I mentioned only projects which we are planning to implement with Masdar, and there are many other investment proposals, and some of them are already in the phase of implementation. So we will definitely need to reinforce our national energy grid, and as I said, state program is being implemented. We will do everything on time. We already allocated financial resources so that our investors, which produce renewable source of energy, feel themselves absolutely comfortably. At the same time, I'd like to inform you that our renewable energy agenda is not limited only with solar or wind power stations. We're actively developing now our hydro energy potential in the liberated 3 years ago territories of Qaradağ and Eastern Zengezur. We already commissioned hydropower stations of the capacity of 170 megawatt, and by the end of next year it will be already 270 megawatt, and within 2-3 years it will be 500 megawatts of hydropower station, which will be another important contribution to the green energy transition. And in general, Qarabağ, Eastern Zengezur, and Nakhchivan have been already announced the green energy zone. There is a big potential to use our natural resources, which apparently the wind became, because wind always was sometimes a source of some problems, especially when you're landing. But now wind is a natural resource. So it was difficult maybe to imagine some 10-20 years ago, but now it is the case, and especially wind in the Caspian is much more stronger, but even wind today here demonstrates that this potential is here. So these are the plans for the future, and of course these investments will allow us to save a lot of natural gas, which we use now to produce electricity. And it's several billion cubic meters of natural gas, which will be saved for export, because Azerbaijani gas is needed more than ever before in Europe due to recent geopolitical changes. And we, on time, have commissioned major transportation infrastructure, 3,500 kilometers gas pipeline from Caspian offshore fields to Europe. And that will be another contribution to energy security of the broader region. And of course, among our plans is to work actively with our partners to create energy corridor, Caspian EU energy corridor. Last December, corresponding agreement was signed, and we already started our activity. Steering committee already gathered a couple of times, and in several months we will have a full feasibility study of the new energy security project, Green Energy Corridor, integrated transmission, production, and consumption facilities, including the electric cable under the Black Sea. And at this moment, the feasibility study is being prepared for 4 gigawatts of renewables. So these are our plans, and our history of independence, not only in the energy area, demonstrates that all our plans come true because we have political will, we have unity in our society, we have great partners and friends like UAE and companies from UAE. So I'm sure that we will achieve all our goals, and we'll have many more ceremonies like that in the future. I'd like to once again express gratitude to our guests for being with us and congratulate all of us with this remarkable event. Thank you very much.